Get an update on the situation and now. And I'm joined over the telephone by Erastus Asare Donko. He's with Love FM in the Ashanti region. Erastus, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Erastus, what was the latest on this matter?
Well, just this morning, I had some information, in fact, coming from sources within the disease control unit of the Regional Health Directorate, and the test that they conducted on the sample came back negative. And so currently, as I speak, that has been communicated to the two health officials who were quarantined because they handled this particular patient unprotected. And so it's coming as quite a relief for them this morning. Since yesterday, some of them, their families have been shedding tears and living in anxiety of what might happen. And so the news is coming as good news to them.
Did the test reveal what caused the death or the bleeding tendencies of the deceased?
Well, at this moment, details are still quite sketchy, and so I know that in the course of the day, health officials will come out more publicly, and then they will be able to answer questions as to then what was the disease that killed this guy.
What do we know about the whereabouts of the body of the deceased, the remains?
Well, yesterday, if you monitored our reports, we followed it up. It was buried in a supervised official burial, if I should put it that way. And we have officials of the Regional Health Directorate. 3 people were selected: a doctor, a family member, and a disease control expert. They dressed in the PPE, white gowns with goggles and protective gear as well. And they went in there, mixed chlorine and sprayed the body as WHO has recommended. They put a body bag on the ground. They sprayed the body as well, disinfected the whole room, put the body back, and then put it on a trolley, disinfected the whole trolley and everything, then pushed it to the cemetery where they buried it themselves, also removed the PPEs and buried it together with the body. So that was a supervised burial that was done at Dominas, very close to where the hospital is.
Prior to the release of the tests, 2 of the hospital staff had been quarantined. What do we know about them now?
Well, just as I said, they have been communicated to a short while ago, and you could see the relief on their faces as they were told that the test came back negative. And so now they have been released. I have information to the effect that they will be more careful now. And so tomorrow the hospital is going to hold a workshop for the entire staff to further brief them on how to handle such cases, at what stage they should go near a patient of such nature. And so it's coming as a lesson to all the health practitioners in that domain, and I think it's also serving as a lesson for the entire region as well.
I see. So how's the family taking this? The test results came out back negative for any Ebola virus, but their brother was left to die. How's the family taking this?
Well, we are yet to get into contact with the family, and yesterday, if you could see the look on their faces and the comments that were coming, they were very peeved about how he was handled, the fact that there were no PPEs and so he was left on his own to die. That did not come down well with them. But this morning, they are yet to be communicated to us at now, because I got the information some few minutes ago. And so when they are communicated to us the results, we will know what their reaction will be.
Definitely, and we'll get to that. But just before we end the conversation on this, the reason these doctors could not attend to the young man was because they didn't have protective equipment to use. What has changed?
Well, nothing has changed, I must say. I mean, it's lovely. Yesterday, the Regional Health Directorate brought in some few PPEs, I think about 4 of them. And I asked this specific question, that why do you keep the PPEs at a central location in Kumasi, when at the district level, they would need the PPE. And he was telling me that if I have studied logistics management, it won't be unwise to send logistics to a location where there is no need. And I told him that this is an emergency. So when there is an emergency, do people have to wait 4 hours before they get emergency equipment to handle a patient? And that debate ended there. Still, authorities are still keeping the PPEs at a central location in Kumasi. And that is an issue that I think we should be probing further to ensure that we have some logistics at the district level where it will be needed more.
Absolutely. We would get into that issue, Erastus. Thank you very much once again for this update. Erastus Asaredonko is a man in the Ashanti region, and we've been talking to him on an update on the Dominaso Ebola scare. Well, the test came out negative. The body was rightfully buried, according to the WHO guidelines, even before the results came out. The family is yet to receive the news that indeed their brother did not die of Ebola, and would get you more on the story as it unfolds. And in a bit also, we should get in touch with the Ghana Health Service and find out why, like we have dealt with the issue of cholera, Ebola logistics are centralized, awfully centralized. We'll get into that.